Men, what's something that the ladies are insecure about, but y'all actually like?
Story 1. My wife has been getting random gray hairs for a bit now, more and more. It's somewhat more noticeable in bright sunlight. She's only mid-40s and it seems to get her down a little bit. I've told her that it doesn't bother me at all, but I think it just reminds her that we're getting older bit by bit. I think it looks fantastic, like stars in the night sky. When she eventually goes fully gray, well, what could be more spectacular than a night sky completely covered in stars? Years ago, I walked into our bedroom and my wife was in bed reading and wearing reading glasses. It was my first time seeing her wearing them. She looked great. I mean, really great. I gasped and she immediately pulled them off, feeling self-conscious. I said to her, "Honey, they look fantastic on you." And I got a bit excited and said, "You know how we said we wanted to get married and grow old together? Well, it's happening." Well, I did kind of a Snoopy dance while saying, "It's happening." Gray hairs, growing old, reading glasses, these are all achievements that should be celebrated. I absolutely 100% agree, and not just because I am also getting old, but maybe partially because of that. Honestly, I find that as I get older, my tastes and things do change. And there's nothing about like gray hairs that I find off-putting. They're probably not going to come through in the video, but I've started getting some gray hairs and I'm definitely, you can see where the hair's thinning. That's happening. Wrinkles around the eyes. Come on, folks, look at no, I still look pretty amazing. Who am I kidding? Story 2. Comfy clothes, sweats, baggy shirts, or one of those spaghetti strap tank tops, no makeup, messy hair. I love that crap so much. Don't get me wrong, when a woman puts in the effort to look good, it's always appreciated, and I love the confidence of a woman who knows she looks good, but for that person to be so comfortable with me to just relax, not care what they look like, and snuggle up, snacking and watching movies, that's its own special brand of attractive that, in all honesty, is about on par with being head-to-toe dolled up. Dolled up is hot because it says, "I want to look good for you." Lazy day clothes are hot because it says, "I want to be comfortable with you." I think part of it is that comfy/messy is sort of like a behind-the-scenes VIP experience. Everyone gets to see the show, but only a select few get to see what's behind the curtain. It's about intimacy and honesty, which is damn attractive. As someone who is very constantly in very comfortable clothes, like you'll see the, loose, some people say piratey, some people say blouses. They're just loose linen shirts and everything. And yeah, and I wear like very loose flowy pants, like tie fishing pants and other it's all very comfy. And I'm comfy most of the time, and my partner absolutely appreciates it. But she also appreciates when I put on a nice suit and tie and look all schnazzed up. We go to a nice restaurant together. You learn to appreciate everything about each other.
Story 3. What she looks like first thing in the morning. This times 1,000. If I had to pick a time and place where I feel my wife is the most beautiful she's ever been, it's when I wake up in the morning and she's asleep next to me. The slightly mussed hair, to be fair, my wife has by choice gone with a short haircut. The cat-like sprawl she has after I wake up, she needs more sleep than I do, and I, whenever possible, let her have that. Her gentle smile when I stroke her hair to wake her up. It's the most honest, innocent moment in her day, and I love it. Story 4. I wish you could understand that after a pregnancy and all the changes that come with it, after 20 years of a life that hasn't been easy, after those few extra pounds we both put on, I still see that 19-year-old vixen that caught me checking her out while she was bending over to fix her shoe. She is her and will forever be her. The woman I fell for in the 2 weeks after we met, the one who supported me while I pursued my dreams, the one who bore my child, the one who makes cute noises when she rolls over in her sleep, the one who grows more beautiful every day, the sensitive, genuine mother, the attractive, naughty partner in crime, the one who for some reason thought it was a good idea to choose me, my woman. Story 5. My missus has a filthy laugh. She's embarrassed about it, so it only comes out when she really finds something funny. If I could, I'd IV that straight into my veins. Describe this filthy laugh, we must know. It's almost a cackle, a bit nasally, and always at 100% volume, usually accompanied by a thrown back head. Honestly, if I could find a way to induce it, I'd do it daily.
Joking and comedy is something that is very important in my life and something that, is very important to my partner. And yeah, there is nothing to me that is quite the same as just a full-on laugh. Like when you really get them just absolutely losing it. They're not trying to, look nice doing it or whatever. It's amazing. Folks, for all of you out there, just laugh. Just laugh with your whole body if you like to. Do it.
Story 6. I hope this comes out the right way. Height. My wife is not even that tall, but all her friends are 5'2" or shorter. She's 5'8", and when I met her, she was super insecure about it. We're about the same height, but I really like it. I'm female, 5'11", been turned down for being taller than guys plenty of times. Fair enough, people like what they like, but I can't say I've ever dated anyone who said they were attracted to my height. Luckily, everyone gets less insecure with age. The older I get, the more I rock the high heels. Story 7. I've heard multiple women say they were self-conscious about their veins. Nothing else, just the sight of their normal veins on the surface of their skin. But call me crazy. I like a woman with a vascular system. I strictly like women with vascular systems. Story 8. The one I don't get is hiding/masking their real laugh. There's nothing more attractive than making a gorgeous woman absolutely lose her crap. The holding the sides, the little snort, it's just too cute. It sucks that some people have made them feel ugly just for expressing themselves. Story 9. The silly little sounds and goofy things they say and do randomly throughout the day. Could be singing or just randomly making sounds or narrating their actions. It's adorable and heartwarming that they're comfortable enough around you to do it, but if they notice you noticing, they get embarrassed, which is also cute as F. Story 10. Their body. My ex would always tell me to stop staring at her while she's naked, for example, when she was undressing before going to bed. But for me, it had nothing to do with being horny or mostly anything intimate at all. It was simply pure beauty. Like you would look at an art's masterpiece, or the moment you reach a mountaintop and enjoy the scenery. Just pure admiration of the beauty, nothing else.
So I definitely understand where this person is coming from, but also there are things that, some people feel when someone's staring at them like that. It is almost objectifying them. And in fact, kind of some of the ways that you describe them, like an art masterpiece or something, is kind of objectifying them. And sometimes people want to be viewed that way on their own terms. I think most of the time people want to be viewed that way on their own terms. And so as much as you might genuinely, truly appreciate their beauty, and I don't think there's anything wrong with appreciating it, there is also, respecting how they want to be perceived at certain times. So it's a balancing act, and requires good communication.
Story 11. Glasses. Holy crap, women with glasses are beautiful. Story 12. Freckles. Women hate them, but I've never heard a man say a bad word about a freckle. I've known my wife since we were 5 years old, and I had a crush on her when she was 13. She's a redhead with milky white skin and 10 million freckles. Story 13. Being silly and fun. This is one of the most attractive things for a true, meaningful relationship. Ever hear of marrying your best friend? What's better than being silly and fun? My ex used to say I got the zoomies before bed, and I did/do. That is when my inner weirdo gremlin comes out and I need to do weird things. Nothing made him laugh as hard even when we were at the very end of our relationship. The zoomies would get him laughing.
Folks, if you are a weird and silly person, and I am one of those, don't hide that from your partner. Like, even, I started acting weird around my partner very early in our relationship because I know that's how I am. And I want a partner who's comfortable with that. And not only was my partner comfortable with it, she appreciates it and is goofy and weird in her own ways too. So yeah, don't hide your light under a bushel. You know what I'm saying?
Story 14. Small boobs. I prefer them to big boobs, but big boobs are also great. Boobs are boobs. 90% of guys are just happy to get to see or touch a pair. I'm not going to F up my opportunity because of size or shape. Nah, son. You give me a boobie, I'll love them no matter how they look. Story 15. My wife has what she'd describe as a mum bod after having our children. If anything, I find her body more attractive now. She's gifted me 2 beautiful kids with her body. Story 16. Effing everything. Stop reading those crappy magazines that make you feel crappy about the random butt crap about how you look. Men don't read those magazines. We don't give an F about your thigh gap or whatever BS you're supposed to hate yourself over today. Story 17. I've seen many ladies being insecure about hip dips or slightly curved jawlines, but this thread makes you feel you guys probably don't even notice this stuff, do you? Story 18. Your eyelashes are fine. No need to put racing spoilers on them.
Or do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, makeup. It's the same as, the style of clothes that you wear. Like, you might say, you don't need to wear, flashy whatever clothes or do this or that, You're great how you are, but if it makes them feel good and you still, like it, cool, great. I know a lot of people are like, I don't see why girls are wearing makeup. I think they're beautiful without it. It might make them feel good. They like it, I wear nail polish all the time because I like it. I don't wear it for anyone else. It's just fun for me. I enjoy colors. So, yeah.
Story 19. This one gets asked a lot, but hey, I like a nose with that bone that kind of comes out, hawkish. I like little arm hair. I like the squishy part on the back of the arm. Belly I can squeeze. Freckles. Some hate their freckles. I mean, you tell me something a woman is self-conscious of, and I'll tell you I like it. I just like women. Story 20. Areola size. Some women seem to think that tiny is the ideal. I don't know why. Everything from small to large can look great. Like everything else, it's a case-by-case basis. There is no ideal. Story 21. My partner says oops whenever she does something wrong in the funniest voice. She's so embarrassed by it, but she has no idea how much it brightens my day. This isn't really gender specific, but I've not seen it mentioned here, and I think it's probably women that get a harder time for it overall, but general weirdness. Interests, obsessions, passions. We may not know or even care about it as much as you do, but if we care about you at all, then that look you get when you talk about it is wonderful. Forget all the sexist, immature primary school BS that told you to be normal and conform. Be weird. Story 22. This entire thread is refreshing to read because we women have these awful standards and low self-esteem primarily because of people we've dated. Insecurities don't come from nothing, and reading how just being human and not made up all the time is actually perfectly okay means a lot. Story 23. Jiggly fat, especially around the thigh area. Look, fitness is great, and I'm also into 1 hour of exercise a day, but don't be so obsessed about being so shredded that you become a kite. It's healthy to have fat. You're an ordinary person, not a model whose career depends on how thin they look.
Yeah, magazines and some, just a lot of, modern media and stuff really does not depict normal human bodies. Like, I've known people who are extraordinarily healthy, and guess what? They got little pooch bellies at times when they sit down, and they might have a little bit of a jiggle to their arms or whatever. 6-packs, those are real rough to maintain. Like, that is not just standard healthy, Like, folks, you don't need all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm personally much more attracted to someone who just looks, happy with their body, however it may be. Confidence. Now that's attractive.
Story 24. For me, a petite itty-bitty titty committee member, first thing in the morning, no makeup, hair up, my hoodie, looking like crap on my sofa, drinking a cuppa. That's the point where I go, she's all mine, and I smile to myself and offer her breakfast as I think she's the most beautiful thing on this rock. Story 25. If anyone is prone to acne, I always found it to have a totally negligible impact on a girl's attractiveness. That's more of a don't mind than like, though the cliche that imperfection accentuates beauty does often apply. Story 26. Stretch marks. To quote the comedian Cat Williams, Ladies, we don't have time to worry about stretch marks. We know they came from one or two things. Either you were big and got small, or you were small and got big. Either way, we're effing. Story 27. Your face is awesome. Please, for F's sake, don't post a picture with crappy filters that make your face look like a shiny, blurry wax. Story 28. Big ol' bushy, natty eyebrows. Didn't see this in the responses yet, so figured I'd shout it out. I'm not a fan of heavily manicured brows, and the pencil-thin brows or eyebrows that have to be drawn on is a pretty big turnoff. So much so that I'd probably prefer some Femme Brezhnev or unibrow than teased to non-existence.
You know, I am so happy that it seems like bigger eyebrows are starting to come back into fashion because I was kind of the same way. The tweezed to thin little razors and stuff like that was never my thing. I mean, if you're happy with that, go with it, you know? You should do what makes you happy as far as fashion and all that stuff. I mean, I trim and tweeze my eyebrows because I'm almost 40 and I have early onset old man eyebrows coming in. The wild things. I hate it so much. I hope that comes into style. And God, even if it does, I won't leave it. It drives me nuts.
Story 29. Anytime a woman says she looks terrible, she almost never does. Or they'll point out something I don't even notice and don't even care about after it's brought up. Story 30. Big thighs. I don't know. I find thighs so attractive. If my girlfriend, for some reason, one day will feel insecure about her thighs, I will always say she's attractive and the prettiest girl ever. Story 31. I had an ex who thought her breasts were too small. She didn't like her freckles, and she felt she wasn't presentable without makeup. Meanwhile, I thought her breasts were perfect. I thought her freckles were attractive, and I always felt she looked better without any makeup at all. When she'd say this stuff, like get insecure about the way she looked, I tried to reassure her, but I could tell she always thought I was lying just to try to make her feel better. I definitely wasn't, though. You know, with almost 8 billion people on the planet, odds are that nearly every physical attribute you don't like about yourself is exactly the type of enough people to fill at least a small country. Story 32. The way she looks when she's all, oh my God, I look homeless. You actually look totally fine. Story 33. Big and interesting noses, especially aquiline noses. Gorgeous. A friend of mine had a classic Roman nose. It really suited her and she was very beautiful, but when she was a teenager, a boy she liked made fun of her for it and it stuck with her for life. She recently had a nose job which was done really well, but she now struggles to accept her new nose as her. I think she looked better with her own nose because it was distinctive. She's still very good looking, but a little less stand out. Story 34. Tummies. I love to rest my hand on her lower abdomen, over her womb. It feels like such an intimate spot to me, and I love to rub it gently. But some partners have expressed some self-consciousness when I did that, and that's all right. But it felt so nice to me. I also like the armpit.
Took a bit of an unexpected turn there at the end, but, you do you, and, just make sure wherever you're placing your hand or other body parts on your partner that they're comfortable with it, you know?
Story 35. Small chest. I'm a butt, hip, and thigh man, so breast size is not important to me. Story 36. If a genie could grant me a wish, it would be that every woman could see themselves at that one moment they finish getting ready and look in the mirror. That final moment when they think, okay, done. That right there is such beauty. So many of us look in the mirror and see the imperfections, not the way we actually look at that moment. Because then, right then, is truly perfection. May all the ladies see that. See what we all see in them and not what they see lacking. Story 37. Getting gray hairs. I like it because my wife hates them. It's a sign of having been through something to me. Story 38. I guess pretty much everything to some extent. Most of what puts us off is how their insecurity pushes us away. It's not super complicated. Most men dig a solid foundation to work with where the woman in question and us get along well. Story 39. The way they look. Everyone is unique and different as well as beautiful. Just be yourself, and that's what really matters.
See, Now this person gets it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And, there's so many beholders out there with so many eyes. Now, granted, the randomized beam attacks and the cone of anti-magic that they produce isn't great, but the fact that they can see all kinds of different beauty in every type of person, well, that just gives you hope. I just wish there weren't so many dang beholders. God, it's such a pain. That was a Dungeons and Dragons joke, if you didn't get that. I do those sometimes. Go check out my channel, Dungeon Noob's Guide, where I don't talk about Dungeons and Dragons, actually. I'm going to go.
Story 40. Who am I to tell women what they're insecure about? Ladies, what are you insecure about? As long as it isn't something creepy like your Nazi mural you've got hidden in your room or something, I'll tell you not to be insecure about it because it probably isn't that bad. But if it is a secret Nazi mural, I'm fully prepared to shame you. Sorry. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.